Hi, welcome to Musicians Hangout with your hosts, Crash Bispike from Fatal Butterfly and Maxine Maxwell from the Maxwells.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It's great to be back, and it's awesome to have Crash back as well.
Thank you. Yeah, last week I had a show at the Mercury. I can't remember. Metalworks, I believe is what it's called. And it was a fun time. Got to hang out with like Kate, and yeah, so I was excited.
Good deal.
Still sick, but trying to get better every day.
Well, I'm glad you're getting better.
Yeah, it's a hard road trying to get better. Ugh.
Yeah. So it was really different manning the show without you, but we did it, and Max was a great co-host, but our family missed you, girl, and I did see your face.
I'm glad to be back.
All right, everybody. So we have a new guest for you. I'm going to go over our mission statement for our show, and then we will introduce him. All right. So our mission statement for Musicians Hangout is to be part of a revolution to create friendships with other artists and build a community network to save music. So this is our guest, Kit.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a Portland musician. I've been here for since I was 2 years old. I was born in Los Angeles, California. My mom moved up here, and because I didn't have my own apartment at 2, I moved with her. And so I've been here since then. Started playing bass at about 14 years old. A couple friends talked me into it, and then the rest is history. I've existed in this community here in Portland as a metal bassist and a rock bassist. And now I'm doing the proper thing at 52 years old and branching into R&B and blues and that type of deal.
Oh, fabulous. That's great.
We have a viewer. She is watching from Malaysia, my friend Hazura. And she says, hi, Kit.
Yay.
Hello to you.
Hello to Malaysia. Thank you, Hazura, for tuning in tonight. That's awesome.
And she just recently had surgery, too. So I want to wish her, happy healing. And I hope you feel a lot better very soon.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
All right. So I wanted to let viewers know that I found Kit on Facebook, and I was scrolling through and I saw his, do you call it a podcast? Do you call it a show, Kit?
I call it Kit Bohannon.
Oh, so
it's my profile. They always try to get me to go over to a page, and I have a page, but I'm like, okay, well, I was here for 9 years. Can I take the people I've earned after 9? And they were like, no, you got to start over here. I go 9 years of building this, and these are my friends and my family, and now I can't take them to my. So I said, okay, Facebook, I'm going to just stay here and be content with my 5,000 friends and family. And
right
they said, and so it's just my profile. It's just a personal blog to where I share everything in my life to keep myself, in check.
Very cool. I love it. So I was scrolling through, I found it, and I was interacting with you on your Facebook feed, and that's how we got to talking about you being on this show. And then lo and behold, I find out that you are friends with Crash, which is so awesome. So it's great to have you on. Can't wait to hang out with you tonight. It looks like our chat room is already busy.
Nice.
So we did have there.
So we have viewers saying that the beautiful bass and to keep Portland weird in his absence. Then our friend Jim Day says, how's it going, guys? Long time no see. Keep rocking, Kit.
Yay.
Thank you. I will.
That's Jim Day, who was the guitar player for Nocturnal Mayhem.
Oh, all right. Very cool. Such a small world. Oh, my goodness.
Ah, sweet. Can I say hi to Jim?
Yes.
Yay. Hi, Anthony.
And that's Anthony.
Hello, Jim. Thanks for tuning in tonight. So, you went over a little bit about yourself, and what age did you say you were when you started becoming a musician, kid?
What's that? One more time. I'm sorry.
When did you become your when did you start your musical journey as a musician? When did you become a musician?
Oh, I was probably a freshman. I was 14 years old when I started picking up the bass, and it was just to get a guitar class with a couple of my buddies. We could go, do what they would do out in the football field and come back and play guitar. Well, they just go, like, let's play one note, kid. And then they would, they'd have me do like AC/DC live wires.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
And they'd be like, and so I learned that way because they said, just hold that note. And I thought it was cool,
Super, repetitive.
And so 14 years old, I had a car and I needed to get insurance and they're like, you got to buy a bass. And I go, no, I got to get my car on the road. And they're like, and then so it was a balance of, what was going to get girls quicker, the bass or the car. And it turned out that I sold that car and waited a couple years and it turned out the bass did get the girls. So I made the right pick,
That's great.
Well, I'm just being honest, man. That's my
totally. We want you to be honest. That's cool. I see a VW sticker behind you. Have you owned a boat?
Oh, I'm a big time VW.
Yes, me too. I own 2 of them.
That's what I learned to drive in was a little VW Bug. Right now in my shop. Well, I'll go get it. We're talking VW. Let me go grab what I'm working on. And I've been slow working.
Yes, please. Show and tell. Definitely. Oh, this is great. Wow, our chat room's popping and our views are popping. Are we on Facebook too? Are we streaming on there?
We are on, I believe we're on Facebook. I don't know.
Do I find this through your page?
Yeah, it's on my page.
Oh, there we are. I'll share us. Woohoo! I got us. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good night.
There we are.
So I'm mostly known for themes, right? Like my guitars. I just got bored with just building stuff. So I do themes. I'll give you a hint. Huh?
Okay.
Who's this?
Oh.
Who's this?
Speed Racer.
Nope.
Herbie.
Yes. Herbie. And so this is my dobro. Not the first of its kind. Every time I say that, I get attacked. But this is my dobro bass, Telecaster.
Oh my gosh!
So underneath is where your pickups go, and this is my invention of a dobro out of a VW hubcap.
Yeah, I've got like 5 in my garage.
And so I just kind of the minute I started building this and doing this, I got off the the accelerant. So I just kind of stopped until I feel like finishing it because it's a kind of an innovative piece, and frankly, for lack of a better term, I just don't have the energy to think through it right now. And so I do all kinds of things, and so I can go from that and leave that. And so Herbie will get done one day, and it'll be a beautiful bass, and it's made out of burl maple that was cut down about a 200-year-old burl maple, I might add.
Wow.
And so it's been my bass before. I'm famous for taking a bass, and it's a Roadrunner one day, and the next day it's like a Cuda Hemi or something, because I just enjoy painting guitars, and I do that for a living, by the way.
That's so cool.
Kind of themes or whatever.
Like, we want to see all of the instruments you make. Please.
Absolutely.
Here's another one of my personal basses, and I'm sponsored by Hip Shot. They make these cool bridges. So this is a whammy bar bass, which is pretty
nice. Oh, there's
but it's in a World War II theme, and this is a Hellcat F6F.
Yes.
So that's made right here in my apartment, and this is hard rock maple. And I'm really big into the art, like really putting stuff that just makes you go, hell yeah. Look at that.
Wow.
I like CGI graphics on guitars, and this is a whammy bar bass, very rare. And I thank Jason Urich, who owns Hip Shot, for sending this out for me to test pilot.
Oh, that's
that's cool.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Oh, who? Somebody else want to see it? Did everybody get a chance to see this? All right.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I'm digging that Herbie one. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that done. I love it.
It's well, the problem is it was done, and my dobro, I need to look more into dobro. Check this strat out.
Oh,
This is a Day of the Dead strat. I'm gonna do the inlays, the skull
Oh my
moon,
god, that's sick.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Bad Moon, and I call this the skull caster, obviously,
Yes,
for lack of a better
yes.
term. But she's beautiful.
Yeah,
And I modeled it after 1966. It's a real wood body. I get old star casters because they made them out of the same, good solid wood, alder or whatever. And then I load it with this is a decent pick guard. It's going to give you that 66 sound. I sell these for $300.
What?
Yeah.
Jim Day said that would have been something Cliff Burton would have shredded.
Oh yeah.
Well, if Cliff Burton was a guitarist, but Cliff Burton was a bassist. But check out this. I make some of the best Les Pauls in town. And it's because I'm not so sacred with the Les Paul that I'm afraid to put a hole in it. So I carve a hole right into it, and I put a Floyd Rose on them. This has got DiMarzios.
Jesus.
And Good Earth Guitars is my company. I know it's here. I got more light. I don't know what I'm doing. Trying to be cool here in the dark.
Our friend Rebecca says that she has 7 guitars that you made.
Rebecca.
Oh yeah, Rebecca's got a few of my guitars.
We're so lucky.
And this is Tobacco Road,
dude.
And it's made by Bad Moon, Good Earth. Still, once again, it cost me about $550 to make this guitar, and I've tried to sell it for that, and I can't. I mean, it's just such a crummy market. Even on something like this, everything I show you, you cannot get at Guitar Center at all. Want to see a 200-year-old flying V?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
All righty.
I have a tattoo of a flying V on my back.
Hey.
This is a 200-year-old flying V.
What?
Yeah, and so I attributed this to Randy Rhoads.
Rhoads, I see it. Oh my god!
And I made it as if he would have made it, right? Like to this age, and what would he have rocked? So the whole pinstripe and the whole thing, it was meant to be a Randy Rhoads tribute to what he would, a classy instrument, because he probably wouldn't have stuck with the old white one with the pinstripes. He would have evolved to something a little more classy like this. And this is burl maple. Same thing Herbie is made out of, same tree. A 200-year-old
200 years older.
Yeah. Yeah. All this and Herbie is 200 years old.
Oh.
Pretty cool, huh? And it sounds amazing.
Cool. I love that.
I'd love to plug it in for you, but for some reason, all my guitars refuse to play for me. I don't know what the nature of that is. But anyways, what else do I got?
That's on.
I think that's about it. I pretty much sold everything, and now I used to build and say, I'm a builder, look. And I would just keep building off my own wallet, and then when I couldn't afford to do that, I would just take a guitar and completely redo it to where you thought it was something else. But in reality, I was just trying to show the existence of a guitar builder and stay with it. Because you just find out, wow, they're not selling, and I need more material to work with, and so it's a tough business.
Well, like all artists, you can't put a price tag on something that you poured your soul into. It's hard.
You can't, but you need to in order to sell it. I'll show you some other stuff I create.
These. Yes, show us.
You might have seen these.
I saw that. Yep, I did.
So these are tomahawks. I fish for salmon, and when I do, the pole's in the water with the bell on it. You're waiting for it to go off. You've got tons of time to just stare at the ground and make these cool things.
Really?
And so this is my proof that you can take rock and sticks and turn them into something really cool. And so I don't know if you can see that one right there, but
oh wow!
And so they go on your wall or in the interior of your wall. Come on. And so these are demos of ones.
Ooh, we've got someone asking about your guitars here and how to get customized. Let's see. Where's it at?
That would be my friend.
Hi, Wendy.
Everything I show you is for sale too. So even though I tell you like this is mine, this is actually for sale. And to let you know, this is Hard Rock Maple, Mighty Mite neck, which if you know anything about, it's a true Fender replacement.
Oh, very good.
Very nice necks and $400 bridge, and I want $700 out of this guitar.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's all automotive lacquered under.
These are
cogs. You look really close. I embedded cogs all the way around it to give it kind of the
Oh,
rivet. It's a beautiful, beautiful guitar.
It is. So
They're
when
one
it
of a
says,
kind.
Kit, you are quite the artist, where does a person get one of your guitars? Do you customize them by request?
I do, and as a matter of fact, more so, because these are guesses of what I think somebody would like, right? And I never write on that because people want a blue Les Paul with a Floyd Rose and some Seymour Duncans, and maybe they want a picture of their grandmother on the back of it. That's the stuff I do. That type of thing is my specialty. As a matter of fact, painting guitars is pretty much my specialty, and then putting stuff like this.
Jim Dizzy said that Cliff Burton would have shredded the bass with the whammy.
Oh, yes, he would have. He would have loved it. I thought you were talking because at the time you said that, and I forget how delayed the thing is. I hope I'm not talking too much.
No, you're fine.
No, you're fine.
This is the show. You go ahead and talk about
This is a campfire guitar.
Ooh, that's pretty.
And so this is one I didn't build, but one I've completely. One of my favorite guitars, and it's just so light and buoyant and. Name that tune.
Oh my
It
God.
sounded-
I know it.
I was just excited you were playing. I was like, yes, play guitar. Do it. Play music.
I don't know. Green-eyed lady, something
There
or
you
other.
go. You nailed it. Just stop at green eyed.
Yep.
No, I'm absolutely sick with guitars.
You're welcome, Jim.
Such a way. This is a pretty guitar. It's the only guitar I own that isn't for sale. This was my bucket list bass. I was working in a cabinet shop. This is bamboo veneer. You can actually read.
Your bamboo one. Yep.
Yeah, and it's just a great bass with tone that you will never get out of any other bass unless you were to do this process with bamboo. And it's basically
I was gonna say, you recommend bamboo? Like, is it
I do.
very cool?
All right. I think it's time
Heavy,
for you guys.
how heavy are those basses?
This is hardwood, so it's a pretty stout bass. It's like an ash bass would, or like an old P bass would feel. But this is a monster, is what this is. It is. It's a monster.
Well, that's why you keep it. You got to keep monsters. I mean,
Right.
It is, and it's bullet to bone, which is. This is a tone and volume, and there is no separation. I want both those pickups kicking every time I touch that string. And so it's 4 jazz pickups to.
Wow.
Does that sound all right over you guys?
Yeah.
It's taken me 4 years to sound that good over a record.
Oh,
No, it sounds good.
I can't hear you. And so, it's to anybody who knows me, they know that I'm going through a thing called blow by blow, which is me coming off of dope after a 4-year regimen. And I'm quite open with it because, for one, I want 2 reasons. One is I want the accountability of the people who've watched me for 4 years get high and build all this shit I'm showing you, right? And I want to tell them I did it high and there's better stuff to come. And I want the accountability to have to answer to them if I decide to go back down that road. And I don't think I can, survive another run down that road. And so I did that. That was the reason 1. Reason 2 is it's no fucking.
it's okay.
I'll put a quarter in the jar. I will. I promise that will be my only. And I'm sorry. I said Fred Flintstone. I didn't say that.
I do it quite often.
Right.
Oh,
just do your
God, I'm so sorry. I caught it, right?
It's okay.
So I caught it. That's step 1, right? Oh, there's Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, how's it going? Jim Day, how you doing? So, anyways, the second reason is I know that there are other people shanghaied by this drug in our community because if you have any experience whatsoever with recovery or the lack of, you understand that unfortunately the powdered drugs, the accelerants kind of cater to a musician's lifestyle, right? the party, the live, and it's no, I'm not telling you guys nothing you don't know. I'm just reiterating on that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I thought if I could come out and let people know it's okay to humble up to it and say, hey, look, man, I'm sorry, but I've been on meth for the last 4 years and I went off of it really bad. Will you still be my friend? I didn't have any friends to say that to. I had to slowly prove it to all of them because I had pretty much made this room and just locked the door and told everybody to leave me alone.
Wow.
And so it was pertinent for me to get out of that mess.
Yeah.
And that's all I need to say on that, because I mean, I could easily suck up 2 hours telling you about how cool it is that I'm coming off and
No,
how
please
cool it
don't.
is that
We're very
I
proud
get-
of you.
It's
I get
important.
messages all day long about people like, I'm there. I just don't want to be forward. Man, you got a brass set of, cojones.
Yeah,
I wasn't
that's
gonna say
what
anything.
really spoke to me is that
I-
you are brave enough to put it out there and you're counting the days. So is it day 58 today?
It is day 58, man. And like, I'm really careful what I say, because during all them days I'd come out and I was all proud in the beginning. And it was like, I would say something that I would soon step on a couple days later, because that stuff takes you so far away from reality. And it's such an antisocial drug that you learn this whole new way of living. And it says everything anti this, anti that, forget it. That's what everybody's doing. You want to do everything that nobody's doing. It's a real punk rock attitude when you get on meth. It really is. And I mean, and what I mean is the old rebel 80s punk, fuck you,
Mhm.
oh God, there goes that.
I told you were going to do it. It's so cool.
It's
just-
okay.
Try.
Well, I know Rebecca hears it all the time
All
from me.
good. It's all
She's used. I'm sorry, I promise not to say
No,
that. But once they start
No,
explaining
it's
things,
fine.
you know what they say about
Okay.
cussing? Let me
Most
tell you
Just
what.
try.
Friends hang out.
If there's any kids out there, I said Fred Flintstone. I'll argue it to the end of the wall. But what they say about people who cuss is that they're more passionate about what they're talking about, and they need that language to show a degree of just how passionate they are about that, and that we're more intellectual.
I get that. I watch Joe Rogan
It's true.
once in a while, and he suggests following those FCC guidelines to get viewers and to get more.
Yes, I know.
So
You can say one word.
like,
You
what
can say one. You could have 50,000 people in here say one word and lose 30,000 of them in a second. I know the ramifications. And it's so, I mean, if you read dialogues on how to hold a crowd in, it is so demanding at what you have to do on the second too, because we're all predictable. Our minds all work the same way. We're going to get bored the same time with the same thing. So you got to pop. You got to be popping and going this and that. And
Yep.
I know it all, man. I've watched. I'd go up to 12. I mean, when you're on Facebook and you see 12 viewers in the corner, that's huge. I mean, it is.
feels good. Yeah,
You
definitely.
feel like I've got a few people in here, and then you come out and you see that the count was way more than that. But to sustain 12 people's attention for any amount of time is almost impossible these days.
Right. With
I
everything.
don't even have 12 people that come to my shows to see my band, let alone.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another thing, that's can I go on about that? Because that's a great
Definitely. Go
subject.
ahead. Yeah.
So somewhere along the lines, we as musicians and artists got kind of the script got flipped on us. So it used to be in the 60s and 70s, you'd go, my band's playing. They're like, oh my goodness, where are you playing? I want to go see you. And thank you for
There would be 1,000 people at your show.
Now you know what? Now you know what? Now it's please come to my band and thank you for showing up and letting me entertain you. It's all back asswards.
I know. It's definitely
that.
that
So
way.
I hope your show is along the lines of understanding that we got the script flipped on us as musicians and artists. And now we shall beg people to come to our shows and we'll be the ones thanking when they leave.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? I mean, I have a hard time swallowing that.
Well, and it's part of why the music industry is dying. This type of music industry that we're talking about, and why we started. This isn't the only reason why we started Musicians Hangout, but it was part of that too. Was to just get us out there and connect with other musicians, because we're losing venues, and we're losing the fans that will come out to all of your shows. And this is the only way that we can stay connected as artist to artist and talking about our passion.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so, and it's evolution that's done this to us. It's the ability to do what we're doing right here that kind of depleted the clubs from a live audience. Why? We can get it live. We can sit in the comforts of our own home. I got a double 55-inch screen up here. I can watch any concert I want in fidelity. I can smoke a cigarette and do whatever I want and enjoy it. And now in the club, it's like, I got to go out and be in traffic, which is chaotic, and I can't drink comfortably without knowing that I got to drive home. And so it's just such a strict world. The strict world doesn't allow live music to be, I mean, unless you're, a big name. But I mean, as far as getting somebody to your shows, oh my goodness, man. I mean, you got to give shit away. You got to give it away.
Yep, you do.
And then you better thank them for coming out. And it didn't used to be that way. It was like, oh my God, thank you for entertaining us with your wonderful music. That's the way it used to be. And now it's, oh my God, thank you for coming out and watching my band.
Yeah.
I didn't get paid a cent.
For everybody.
I didn't get paid a cent. All money was out of my pocket.
Hey,
To be here and
I
play.
got dream tickets, though. It's all about the dream tickets.
It is so incredibly tough to be a musician. And so to me, I've gotten bigger crowds by just doing this. Like I can set up a backing track and I hook my bass up just the way I want it to sound. And then I just joke around and have fun. And I'm playing in front of 50 people, which is a pretty tough deal to even get to a club now. I mean, so it's sad. And the problem is it's just going to keep evolving out further and getting worse because there's really no fix for it. I tried a nationwide, statewide. I made flyers that say, challenge yourself one week. You go onto Facebook, you go onto YouTube, find a local band, watch them. If you like them, share them. It was a simple deal. I made each state, and we went California, Idaho, Washington, and I know Rebecca remembers this. This was a campaign to get people involved in people, and it was really simply not saying go to their show. It was like go to their website, look at their band. If they're good and you like them, share a song, share the album, share their Spotify, share whatever, but be a part of this and help these people get from that mentality that says, I'm going to thank you for going to my show to where you're going to thank me for entertaining you.
That's true.
It's so screwed up right now. It really is. Okay. I'm going to try to check myself, and good thing you guys didn't approach me when I was on dope, because I would have just.
What you're talking about is totally relevant to Musicians Hangout because we're talking music. We're talking about the raw truth of it.
We're talking about what's happening to our scene, how it used to be versus how it is today. Being a musician still on the scene, and this is. Yeah,
you're right there, Jim. Too many lazy.
But if you're in it to make money,
too many lazy Flintstones on the couch. That's funny. We are lazy, and what's funny is like. When I was younger, I had control of the bands I was in, had control of the scene. We grew up, we still have control of the scene, and it still sucks. And so I'm not kidding. Like the Roseland Theater is the big club. It used to be the Starry Night up here. And then we would do 12 band stings where we would have our amps all stacked up. You'd play 20 minutes. They'd blow you off stage. The next setup was there ready to go. And we'd do that, and we'd get 500 people in the room, and that was cool, right? But that was pre-computer,
I'm like, how big is this venue to like have like?
Well, I mean, Black Label Society plays there. They have it's a pretty big venue. It'll hold, what does it hold? 1,500 or something.
Wow,
that's not huge, but it's cool to go see like a big name there because you're basically right there. I mean, we saw quite a few bands there that were good. But back in the day when the scene was hopping, you could put 12 bands in there. They would all sell tickets, which they had to unless you were the supporting or the headlining act. And then you would have 1,000 people in the audience, and that's what I started playing music with. And then I watched it deteriorate off as everybody started being able to the record labels went away. No more record deals. Everybody had their own record label and everybody was producing their own music. And some were actually making it on an indie level. But at that time, there was, if you're not going to compete with Alice in Chains and Nirvana and that whole grunge era that came through, I mean, it's a tough act to follow. So good luck. So like, what are people looking for in music? Are they're looking for the next thing? Well, what is the next thing without being full circle?
Saturated with everything, and not just, statewide, it's national, it's
I
international.
feel like a lot of the national bands all sound like each other.
Yeah.
I feel like
Video
their
killed the
vocals
radio.
sound the same. Like I couldn't tell you if it was like The Used or My Chemical Romance or
Oh, right. I hear you, girl. Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like all their music sounds the same and
It
their
does.
vocals sound the same. Like Panic at the Disco and Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Yeah,
Dude,
we
they
went
know
through that
this.
college phase,
But
where
still,
everything was rambunctious
in the
adolescent.
vocal scene, there's a lot more variety of like individual sound,
Right.
I guess. You know,
I love how venues they combo genres too, so we can get a taste of everything, not just as fans, but as musicians mingling with other bands and getting to meet each other.
Yeah,
I
That's
totally
listen to
agree.
it. Musicians supporting musicians.
it is. And it's like guys like in bands going, okay, let's rent this venue. And then now let's sell tickets to this venue and let's pay the bands instead of soaking them for the just of what's not going to show up. So now you can rent that club I was telling you about for $1,500 and it's probably $5,000 a night.
Probably.
They pay for it? They hire 5 bands and they tell them you got to sell $1,000 worth of tickets and we want half up front. And so you're selling $1,000 worth of tickets. Nobody's showing. I mean, the ones that you're able to show, but a lot of the bands aren't able to sell it, whatever.
Right.
If the tickets are $25 a piece and they're going to see 8
Dude,
bands that says
they can't even sell
doesn't matter.
25 tickets at $10 a piece.
It's
Right.
tough. It's a tough deal, man. It is. It
We
is
couldn't
so.
come up with $250, let alone $1,000 damn dollars.
Yeah.
So either you're like Jay Fells, where you got all these tribute bands and you get this huge astronomical investment in a big stage and the big lights, and you put on a tribute fest, which I see that scene's kind of fading too. They're kind of suffering as well. I got some friends in tribute bands, and
Really?
What type of tribute band?
it might not be in Seattle. Maybe it's just taken off, but tributes have been big in Portland for a long time
They're
because of
pretty big here too.
Jay Fells, and I'm sure he's up there now too. Because I noticed that he's got like Randy Hansen now on his bill, and he's got a couple other guys from Seattle, and but even that is getting less numbers. I mean,
Wow.
it's so demanding to entertain somebody these days.
Well, and everything is instant gratification. Everything is 6 to 12 seconds. You got to catch them. And
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
that's
if
it.
they give you that. If they give you that, I said it the other day. It's like somebody comes running up to you with the phone and goes, "Oh my God, you got to see this video!" In a split second, you're like, "I don't want to watch the damn video," even though the video is going to be cool and you're going to love it and you're going to laugh. You cannot deny that for 1 second you just said, "Please, I don't want to watch that video," because it wasn't your choice, right? Like you don't want to be told what you're going to watch. We're a bunch of
What the video is. If it's a long video, I'm like,
we're Fred Flintstone Pickle now.
but if it's a 30-second video, I'll see what happens.
Do you guys have one of those commercial breaks? I got to go get my coffee. So
Oh,
can
sure. I can go into music. That's fine. Go get some coffee,
I
dude.
got plenty more to talk about. You guys stick around.
Yeah, you come back.
All right.
Stay tuned. We will do music news. All
Yeah.
right. Doo-doo-doo. All right. For today, December 4th, for music news, I wanted to give a shout out to one of my favorite artists. Happy birthday, Ozzy Osbourne, a day late. The Prince of Darkness turned 71 yesterday, and I am so glad he is still with us. He had quite the year. He had a very rough year, so I'm glad he's, planning 2020 and that he celebrated his birthday in a healthy state.
Yay for Ozzy.
Hey, Ozzy. Slipknot was dubbed the best band to listen to while angry on Spotify. 3 Days Grace, Linkin Park, Disturbed, and Avenged Sevenfold were the following artists in that category. Not gonna lie, that's a good set. Like,
Some of it is. I mean,
for anger. Sometimes I listen to this music when I'm happy, though. I'm a metalhead, and it makes me happy. It warms my heart.
sometimes when I'm mad and I listen to metal, like I'm just like, I love this, and I instantly feel happy. because I'm listening to angry music.
Yeah, and like when
It's like reverse psychology.
it's like, oh, now I feel better. It's like it's like our psychology. It's like our therapy.
Yes.
So alternative metal was listed as the angriest genre, followed by dance pop, which I found interesting. Dance pop makes people
Angry?
angry.
Well,
Well, it's upbeat music.
I guess. I mean, if you're coming at me with some Justin Bieber, like, I'm gonna get a little angry. Like, the hell out of here with that.
Yeah,
What is
right.
that?
Actually, there was one song.
Dance music?
I kind of liked it, and I don't remember. It had something to do with like platinum and gold or something. And I was like, I'm kind of digging this. This was years ago, and I was like, who is this chick? And the kids that I was with were like, this is Justin Bieber. And I was like, oh, because I kept telling them, I've never heard this Justin Bieber. And they're like, oh, you've heard him, you've heard him. Well, I thought he was a chick. Anyway, moving on. Motley Crue announced their 2020 stadium tour with Def Leppard and Poison. The run will kick off in Miami on July 7th with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Oh, snakes.
What a crazy 2020 tour. Everybody's going on tour in 2020. Even Alanis Morissette announced her 25th.
I know. Bikini Kill's coming.
Yep. It's going to be, Garbage is going to be with her. It's going to be so
I
good.
know. I'm so excited.
Spotify announced that the top streamed artist of the decade was Drake, followed
I
by.
don't even know who that is.
I don't either. I have got to look it up. But for 2010 to 2020, Drake was the most streamed.
All right, great.
That's so funny. We're gonna look it
I'll
up.
give you a hint. Rock is dead.
Yeah, I don't even know who Drake is or what
So
he's
followed
saying.
by, maybe you guys know some of these people too. I don't know. Ed Sheeran.
Sharon.
Thank you. I can't say that.
So he actually had like a little stint in Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yeah, he was like one of the dudes out in the forest singing.
Oh, cool.
He's like as white as paper and he's a ginger.
Chat room. I love you. I love you, chat room.
Oh my god.
I forgot to tell Tony Hatch hello. Tony Hatch said hello a while ago to us, and I waved, but I wanted to say hi to him.
Yes.
So,
Hi, Trent and May.
other artists that were streamed most popular during this decade include Post Malone, Ariana Grande, and Eminem.
Who's Ariana Grande? Is that like
She's like a pop, I think.
dance person? So angry music kind of girl?
I think
Yeah.
so.
All right.
What happens when you listen to mostly metal? You don't know all of the popular artists out there.
I don't even know. Like every time I get into a car with someone who's like listening to like 107.70 and KNDD, I'm just like, what is going? At least on KIOW, I know the music that's being played. Like, what in the world is going on this channel?
Oh, I know. And
It used to be so cool, and now it's just so mainstream, I guess, nowadays.
yeah, right.
And that's
I know. It is a shame. Shame. All right, kids,
All right.
bed, you got your coffee, you ready to go? What did you want
I
to
do.
talk about now? Because I have questions, but you have so much that you can just talk about. I just want to know, like, tell us what's on your mind.
Oh, well, my wheels are always turning. That's my theme: blowing and burning, wheels always turning. Right. And I even have a logo for that. It's a skull with a wheel in it. And so these things stump me up because it's like, where do I begin? What do you want to talk about? I mean, I can go off on I use common sense as my best friend. I don't stage nothing. I don't pre-rehearse anything for anything. But if you apply something to my brain, it goes, oh, okay, that must be like this and that and that. And so I come up with solutions. My business is Good Earth Custom Concepts, and it's because I'm a concept guy and a problem solver. except for myself. You know how we can all solve problems with our own. You know, and I'm getting better at that too. And so I'm ready for your questions because, I mean, and then we'll spin off of those, right? Maybe.
Right, exactly. That's what keeps the flow going. But I just want you to know, feel free to keep just
the flow.
Love it. Okay, so what are the bands that you listen to?
I don't. Because I'm a songwriter and I'm a creator and a musician, I absolutely listen to zero bands. I mean, I would listen to your band because you're in the same boat, right? But I write a lot of songs. And so in doing so, our minds can collect things from things we listen to. So I make a point.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
And so I know who Drake is and I know who Adriana and all those are. They're all rap artists. Rock is dead in this world. So you have to be R&B or dance or you ain't cutting it. That's why I said I'm not in a band right now, but if it don't dance, I don't bass because I'm just not going to waste my time anymore. And I'm a metalhead. You know, I played metal in my life and I went through the butt rock stage where I was a butt rocker all the way through the 80s.
I'm still like
the makeup, man. I was a butt rocker. And then I got adapted when Pantera hit. I got adapted over to that, and I learned how to drop D on a 4-string bass.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that if Rat comes on the radio, you're not just like, yeah, I love this song.
No, I'm not that kind of butt rocker. I was. I still. Scorpions, Maiden. I consider those guys butt rock.
I love Maiden. Like
and Judas Priest and Def Leppard and AC/DC. Those guys were all butt rockers too, man. They all had tight pants on and showing their butt, man. And they were playing music that made you dance.
Their first album, they were butt rock.
Who's that?
Pantera.
Oh, yeah, totally. So was Alice in Chains. Those guys are just a spitting image of Guns N' Roses. They were trying that avenue.
Yeah.
And so if you listen to like the demo that Alice in Chains put out pre, getting signed, it's really, dancey, real slower, sludgy, but poppy, and so a lot of bands were butt rockers.
Yeah. Well,
I would not rock Rat. I mean, I went and seen him, and I think Stephen Piercy's hanging on for the threads, man. I mean, seriously, that guy.
Well, yeah,
still doing it. I mean, he's still doing it and touring, and they got, we've seen him at the Bossa Nova. My girlfriend's just madly in love with Stephen Piercy. I mean, she is just a Rat fanatic, and so I was half drunk, and we were taking off, and she goes, "I wanted a picture with him," and I go, "Turn around." And we hunted him down and she got her picture.
That's awesome.
I said, stand right here. He's coming out. And then I pushed her right in as soon as he came out the door.
Like one of those jerk faces that are like, now.
I tell
meet and greet.
When you understand what they go through, I mean, they're on a boring ass tour bus most of the time and they hit the stage and they're treated like God. They're treated like shit every other way. I mean, as soon as they come off that stage, they're employees of a company that says, don't do that next time. Don't do this. I mean, it is a drag to be on a tour bus going from city to city for that split second while you're on stage and you get, that's it. That's your payoff. And now you get on a bus and you're dealing with people who got personality issues and egos. And then you've got big ups that are going, don't do that again. And so, I mean, it's a drag to be in a band right now. You're not being able to sell albums. If you're selling albums and you're promoting albums, yay. Those days are over.
Yeah, merch
the whole record deal and the whole glorified thing. Good thing you didn't get a record deal because your parents didn't get sued out of their home, because that's what it was about. Back in the 80s, they would sign kids and they would give them an album. Okay, you guys learn this. You're good enough musicians. Here's the music, and I'm referring to big names. I won't mention any names. Here's the music already written. Your parents are rich enough that they're going to cover this album if it fails. And and that's how it worked.
Yeah, I believe it. Totally.
I was trying to get a record deal 100 miles an hour. My parents weren't rich enough and my music wasn't good enough.
Oh,
I was just a bass player back then.
What do you play? What else other than bass?
I play bass. I play guitar. I write. I'm a comedian. I'm an actor. I'm a talk show host. Look at that pretty cute dog. I love Pitbull.
She is so cute.
I had one here for a while, but I couldn't stand its owner. So I had to, the dog had to go too, unfortunately. I like his owner. I rent rooms here at Good Earth, and so that was my son, is who I'm referring to, but he pissed me off, and I had to let him go. But his dog adopted me, man. His dog was like, "Do I have to go too?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, but you got to go too." But he was a little pit bull, whitehead, and he was just so cool. He was fun, but he was a pain in the butt. They are a very needy dog. A lot of people don't realize that about pit bulls. They are human. In their head, they are human.
Agreed.
They're no different than you, and you start treating them different, they'll let you know you are wrong.
In fact, I wonder if
I can't wait till you ask me questions. I love to answer questions.
maybe mine will come.
You got a pit bull too?
I do. His name is Buddy, and maybe he'll make an appearance. He's been tired today. So
That's all I've ever
he
owned.
passed out on the couch and he can't hear me. Buddy!
Guy. Girl. No,
Oh, she's so
Still trying to get my connection back. What's up, Rebecca?
so
What's
much
wrong with
better.
your connection?
Yeah, I wonder what's up with her connection. That's sad.
My
Yeah, I
connection,
don't know.
I
She
got
met
with him about 58 days ago.
She asked me if we were having connection
I
problems.
kicked my connection to the curb, Rebecca. You should do the same to yours. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like,
I'm digging this Trent guy too. Trent,
that
keeps
Trent is
Trent's in love with you.
one of the bass players that I work with down in Longview.
Hi, Trent.
He's amazing. And his wife, May, is also, she's amazing too.
Very
Some of
cool.
my very favorite people on the planet.
Well, they love you.
And I
Well,
really miss playing with Trent. So
Yeah.
thank
Well,
you.
I'm glad you corrected that he had a wife, because I thought he had a crush on you there for a second. He was
Oh,
pretty-
no.
pretty
His
jazzed
wife and I are good.
on-
We're all good friends. We're all good friends. And he knows that I have a boyfriend.
Yes.
And if you see me pick up the bass, it's because I hide behind this usually. It's just
I
my
do that
preference.
with my cymbals.
I do that with my drums. I get it. So that's what's unique about Crash and I is we're both female drummers. So I'm not sure if I told you that from Saturday on, but we connected because we, we're in the same scene. We're female drummers and we think a lot alike, which is really awesome.
Yeah, it is really cool.
We were fans of each other's music, so we just kind of started hanging out this last year. We met in February.
Yeah, at a show.
Yeah. So we've almost known each other, a year. In February, we'll know each other for a year. It's cool.
Yeah.
I make drums. Check this drum out.
What? Tell me the drums. Is that a Cajun drum?
Is that a cajon?
It is. It's a bamboo cajon, and this thing is the
Hey.
cutest cajon ever.
That's beautiful.
I want a cajon so bad. Like,
This
You
one's got
made
a Congo and a. But I make these too. Doesn't that sound good?
that does
Yes.
sound-
It sounds great. You did a great job.
You can actually, a good drummer like you two could actually get a whole drum set out of this. It's actually got a snare on it and everything. You
Yeah,
guys don't
I
own a
bought one.
cajon?
It's handmade here in Squim, actually. I bought one from an artist that makes them here. And it was a plan to, because I do busking on the street in the summertime. And that was the whole plan, was to play it. But I've been so busy in the city. And then we did a little mini tour with Debbie Blackout and Hard Circus. So I've been busy doing other shows and I didn't get to busk with my new drum yet. So someday.
I just learned what the word busking means. A friend of mine goes, "You want to go busking? Because I got my busking.
Yes.
This is my busker. This is my busker right here, right?"
Could you play for us? Play us a song, Kim,
Yes, play us a song.
please.
What do you want me to? I mean, so what I do is, to not completely bore people, I pump up backing tracks. Would you like
Whoa,
me-
let's hear it.
All right, let me do that.
That's another thing we've done on Musicians Hangout. We have artists play. They share.
Good. I love to play.
Yeah.
And so I got a
Great,
few
that's great.
a few tracks I play that are R&B tracks that keep my chops up, and I'll play one of those or play for a couple minutes. And
Yeah, that'd be super awesome.
Do. Take it away.
You let me know if you're getting audio.
Why is Amazon the best place to start an online business? So
Well,
as I come up to the end of
Amazon is great. That's why.
those people drive me nuts. So can you hear that?
Yes. Yes.
Can you see me?
We can see. Turn it up. Yeah. There you go.
Ha! Is that good? You want to hear more?
Yes. Yes.
All right. I like to do this. So I'm a metalhead, right? Like, and
Yes.
So I always tell people, you ain't got shit, but you can play the jazz and the fusion.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Fusion freaks me out a little bit, but I like it kind of mostly sometimes.
We're gonna open you up a little bit here. See, when you get my age, you can't go back to the metal scene. They'll laugh at you. So you're forced to come up into stuff like this, And I always tell people, I play elevator music.
Yes. Dude.
Okay, here we go. Oh, well, something like that.
I agree. Thank you. That was wonderful.
And I do those every week. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I played metal all my life, so it's odd for me to play that stuff too. But it came a point in time where I just went, okay, I can play metal, but what else can I play? And so
Right, it challenges you and it helps you grow.
Oh, totally. Well, I was doing like the Trooper, and I was playing with some Iron Maiden tracks, and then all of a sudden something like that came on, and I thought, all right, it's A minor. And so I thought, oh my God, over the course of 38 years of playing bass, it's in me to do this. And I was high at the time. So I just metabolized my ass off on backing tracks.
Oh,
and they've got them for drums and guitar and for anything that you want. You can go on there and put your headphones on. And I mean, in my ear, I'm in some nightclub, or on some cruise ship, because I've got, my Sennheiser headphones on, and it just sounds beautiful, right?
Those are really nice headphones, by the way.
Those are really nice.
Yeah.
I got them because they matched my hair when I was 20. but anyways,
hey,
yeah.
That's why I picked out the color of
I got them because
a new instrument on the way and matches my hair too.
They're so velour and fluffy inside. And then I got them home and found out they're $500 headphones. I would never pay that, but so I thought, oh God, I got to take care of them. And that went away after about a week.
I have
$200 over with my office chair.
You guys got some nice headphones.
But you can go out in the snow with them because they're really warm and comfortable. And when you do 2-hour videos like you guys, you got to have a set of headphones that's warm. And now if I have my amp on, and
those are nice, Crash.
Beats headphones.
Yep.
I'd rather not use them, but for some reason, if I do this, let me see if I can hear you on my. Does that affect? Because I hate wearing headphones, but can you hear me, or is it doubling because I have my amp out?
No, I can hear you. It sounds great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't bother you, we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, totally.
No, I can roll you back a little bit, and that's perfect. No, that's good. Cool. Ask me some questions. I want to answer some.
absolutely. Do you have any special stories that you wanted to share with us? The weirdest thing that ever happened to you as a musician, the scariest thing that ever happened to you as a musician, or the best thing that ever happened?
God. Well, that was 5 questions, right? I'm just kidding. Oh gosh, you know what? No, not really. I mean, to randomly just think about all those you just asked. The scariest thing as a musician was probably opening up for Metal Church in Seattle. You know, I was in a metal band. I just crossed over from the butt rock stage to the metal, and I was in a band called Father Mary, and we opened up a last minute deal. We're in Portland, and we're like, we get to open up for Metal Church, you know, and so we blast off to Seattle, 180 miles away from where I'm at right now. And we opened up, and that was a full room. And that was probably my first, you know, true. I'd played in front of little crowds, right? Like, but I was probably 22 or 23, and it was scary. You know, it was a big metal crowd, and I was just this little butt rocker.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
And speaking of a metal
That
church,
was scary to me then, but now not at all. You know, now I'm humbled up. But I was a very shy guy. You know, I wanted to be the bass player, and I wanted to be in the background. You know, and something happened in between, you know, 22 and 52, to where I just love to be in front of people and babbling about various things. You know, I think I have a lot to share on that level. But as far as the best thing that's ever happened to me in music was just some of the cool collaborations I got fortunate enough to be with, like the last band I was in, which was completely destroyed by the drug I was doing and the drug others were doing. And so that was Jack Foolery, and that band was getting all the doors opening up. All the doors were opening up for this band. There was a lot of big names in Portland in it, and we had an awesome album. You can find our album on it's Jack Foolery, Come One, Come All. It's a great album. And we spent the money. We had Sammy Hagar's engineer, Jameson Durr, who he has his own studio in San Francisco, but he's part of Sammy Hagar's crew.
Wow.
He did down for us. We spent the money, we spent the time. It was an album that was ready to, you know, do whatever it could do. And then you need that label backing to make it do whatever it's going to do, because people just don't jump on something because it sounds good. And so we went down to reviews, and then we dropped it. I dropped the ball. Everybody dropped the ball. And I had to sit here because I started the band. I had to sit here and decline so many cool offers that were coming in because the band just couldn't deal with each other.
Right.
And we had guys forgetting the songs because they were so, you know, detached from reality. That wasn't me. Hey, I function well under pressure. I do. I still won't take any blame for the credit, you know, because even though I had done what I did, I was manning. I was between the lines, you know, like I didn't go down to the bottom. I wasn't diving in dumpsters. I didn't sell all my shit. My bottom isn't the same as some other people's bottoms. And so when I do rock and talk, and I talk about my drug usage, I make sure they understand that I've never shot dope in my life and never would, but I snorted dope and I got to where it was out of control for me. And I was rotting from the inside out. And what I mean by that was not my brain was going. Right. It was toast, and I couldn't function for my girlfriend. I started losing it. I wrecked my car. You know, all that crazy shit that happens is well, I can't even blame it on it. It was a cool band I was in, and we all got into a blur of dope, you know, and it was fun, and we went on tour. No, it was just me by myself in this room, you know, handling things that I was working with, and that was the way I saw to do it. Yeah. But I'm glad I don't do that no more. Day 58. Yeah.
What was your call for that? Like, congratulations on that. So proud of you. Like, it's so inspiring. What was your wake-up call?
Oh, probably just people done with me, you know, like my woman, my girlfriend, who I kept for a long time, you know. I mean, it wasn't my first rodeo, so I know how to maintenance. I know how to tell myself, you're high as fuck, don't act like a tweaker. And so I was really good about manning a very mild amount of it, enough to get what I needed out of it, which was very sporadic focus and misguided information is what I was getting. But I would have told you then that I was getting divine, pathing, and whatever. And I wasn't. I was in my own psychosis, and I just wanted an excuse to bail out of life because everything that was happening seemed to be dissolving. And so I thought, well, why not, just light a fuse under it with a little bit of this accelerant. It'll be fine. No, it wasn't my first rodeo. And what initiated me coming off it is I took it, I wrote it out. It was done. I was out of gas. I had no more. I couldn't hide it no more. I was down to about 135 pounds. I wasn't eating. I wasn't drinking. My girlfriend was leaving me. My heart was broken. I was out here alive, acting a fool, and so it just all came to head, and it was time.
Yeah.
And I had people who were just like, God, please stop. Yeah. And us musicians and us creative people and us artists, I mean, if you listen to anything and you know anything about Timothy Leary, you understand that to go to creative places to create things that people are going to see as original and viable, sometimes you got to leave the farm. And I always tell this, the albums you love so fucking dearly were written on dope, probably. And that's the sad truth, is that our creative minds fire off of, metabolism and encouragement, and nothing encourages you more than being creative when you're high, man. It's just being creative. Being high is being creative, in its own form. Unfortunately, it's time dated and it will rot you. I mean, all my back teeth are gone from dope, and my front teeth are hanging on for dear life right now. And, and they're going to come out. They're going to come out from the last event, because that stuff, it's nasty, and what's worse than that is heroin, because heroin, your body actually flourishes on heroin. People don't know that, but you look at somebody and they look as healthy as us, and they're on heroin, right? And it's because your body is so happy with the feeling and the warmth that fucking opiate gives you, is that you flourish and until it's gone and you want it, and then you're not so pleasant.
Yeah.
I never got into heroin, but heroin is an evil drug. Methamphetamine is not addictive. You can get off meth. You get addicted to the motivation that it'll give you, and the spontaneousness and the absolute on fire you think you are, which you're not. You're actually cold as ice. Nobody gives a shit about what you have to say if they think that you're accelerating, And so what's cool for me now is, now that people know I'm sober and I'm so proud of it, that people are actually listening to me now and going, okay, now he's making sense.
Well, and you do.
Talking about half the awesome. Was about 4 years.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I got my metabolism and my tweak was coming out here and shredding that bass at deep, at BPMs unknown to man. Just flying through it and not making no sense whatsoever. Yes, I was in scale, but nobody could hear me because I was spinning literally a millionth of a second per note, and I was just rolling around, making no sense whatsoever. I forced myself to watch some of my old videos, and I think, oh my God, how embarrassing. I was building a guitar, and I'd set up the table and I'd have the camera there, and I would drop a screw. Now, when you're spun out, you're running on next to nothing. In other words, I'm pulling a screw out of this drawer. I'm yanking it off that Strat to make this job come to head. It doesn't matter what I did before. Those guitars aren't selling. Now I'm all in on this one, right? I'd lose a screw while live. I was down on the floor, carpet cruising for this screw for probably 20 minutes while live. So anyways.
Oh, wow.
Is that beep? What was that? Was that our
that was.
That's just my stupid phone. Let me know I have an email.
Russell Wilson, hello to you. All right. I love
Russell Wilson.
Have I annoyed your people yet?
No.
Like, get this crazy guy off here.
No.
So now all I do, I quit alcohol too. So I've got 6 days less, and I'll tell you about that. So I decided to quit meth, but I was going to drink my beer, and nothing was going to pull that away from me. And then day 6, I drank a little too many beers and I was dialing the dealer, man. I was going to get some dope and something came. I call it my right shoulder guy. The left shoulder guy tells you to call him. Right shoulder guy goes, go to bed, wake up tomorrow. And now you don't drink. And so I got 6 days less on alcohol, but 52 days, no alcohol. And that's huge for me. I've drank all my life. All my life.
Wow.
And so that's even bigger than so alcohol is physically addicting, but not the way I drink it. I would nurse 3 beers. I would never get drunk. You'd never see me drunk. I was too high on meth to be drunk. And so I would do, I would just drink beer as a liquid, and now I just drink coffee and I smoke my 420.
Right.
And that's it. And that's what I allow. And actually, I got on meth to get off of opiates. I was highly addicted to oxycodones, and that's kind of how I started meth again. And it's
goodness,
it's known that you can get off of heroin and opiates by doing meth, and then meth is an easier animal to stomp out, except for now you got another addiction. But I will say this: that's a public message I just gave. Now, not for everybody to take, but if you didn't know that, that's how you can get off the drug that will kill you. And it was going to. And so I was working in a cabinet shop and I was tired of my job. And I somehow equated, I make 150 a day. So 30 of it's going to go towards pills. And so I would buy pills and just get nice and numbed up. And I would run a machine all day long for 4.5 years straight. Drove me nuts.
Yeah.
And so that's the story of that. We close that up. You guys, any other questions?
Oh, definitely. And it's interesting that you use the word numb because that's how you feel on, it was oxy, you said?
Oh, yeah.
It's totally nothing. You feel nothing. And
you don't.
It's scary. That's scary business.
It is. And you feel this, like when it's going to approach your body, like you take it maybe 45 minutes later, I remember the feeling and I don't ever crave it. One thing about opiates is I've stayed at the pill level. I never went to the heroin level of it. Because I watched somebody dry up off of it and I thought they were going to die. No way is that my phone ringing.
Bring him in. Who is it?
It is my friend Jack.
Yeah.
Jack.
He's dialing me on.
Bring Jack in. Answer it.
Jack would have to be over here. He just dialed me up on Messenger.
That's
but he
all right.
would, trust me. He's a card. We ended up using. So everybody was fighting for the album cover for Jack Foolery, the artists were, and so we ended up using my friend Jack's face. They ran it through a program and turned him into this reptile, and so we used that as the cover of the album. And so, he told me he'd buy a bunch of copies of our album, and he still hasn't. He owes me. He's got to buy 100 copies of our album because I put him on the cover.
Wow.
So until he does that, he can't come in. No, I love doing this co-host thing. This is cool. I would co-host with you ladies anytime you wanted to drum me up. I'm always here in the evening.
Super
So, like, you want a perspective on something, you can say, our anchor in Portland, Oregon, Kit Bohannon. I would love to do that for you guys and give you maybe a little news on what's going on around here.
Yeah, that would be great. And if you want to, spread the word about us around your area and tell the musicians that that they are more than welcome to be on our show too. We want to hang out with musicians. That's all we want to do.
That's
it doesn't matter where in the world.
By the way, I am available for hire. I would like to get into some sort of R&B type thing, but I just need to do something other than be in this room, with my music, because I'm ready for human interaction. I think I'm sober enough.
That makes
you
sense.
Probably wouldn't want to come near me 58 days ago, but I'm back now. And I was telling my fan base that I was like, look, until day 50, I just didn't even want to say I was back because I wasn't sure. But on day 50, it said, okay, you're safe. You can say you're back now because you ain't going down that miserable highway again.
That's amazing. Day 50? Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was a great day and I didn't even know. I mean, I thought it was a cool day. Oh, great. 50, my 50-day anniversary. But what happened was the epiphany that I was done with that stuff. It took 50 days for me to get outside the box. Now I go to 7-Eleven. I see a guy who spun out. I go, oh, my God, that was me. And thank goodness I got out of that because some don't. Some people don't. Some people find
all spun out.
Yeah.
I live in an apartment complex and I'll hear some noise and I'll look out and there is some lady that's knee deep in my dumpster and she's just happy as can be. She's just digging through it and she's organizing and having a great time. So, I'm just like, I don't want to say anything to her. Maybe she's looking for lunch or whatever, but what I see on her face is happiness and like metabolizing, and she's just content as can be digging through that garbage. And so who am I to say what somebody's happiness is? You know what I mean? I know it's sad. I look at your eyes, Maxine, you just look really like you're sad, but that's how Shanghai they get. They're like, oh, this is just perfect. Now, if I catch them in the recyclables, I poke my head out and they go, you're looking for credit card information, get out of there. Because that's what they are. If you see them in their dumpster, they might be looking for food or whatever they can salvage out of that. If they're in your recyclable container where you throw your papers, they're looking for your mail and stuff like that. And so I'm all over those people. But I don't mess with them if they're digging through the garbage. Whatever.
Yeah, they might be trying to get the next meal. And that's why
you just never know,
that you have your live feed going and that we're highlighting you on here because, it's everywhere. You described a day in your life. You see 2 tweakers. That's everybody.
Every day at 7-Eleven. And so I live on 162nd and Burnside. Now, Burnside is a notorious strip down Portland that's been known for, now it's a Max. Now Max runs through there. So you can come from Beaverton, drop off a load of dope, shoot your fellow gang, your rival gang member, now get on the Max and be in Beaverton before anybody knows the wiser. And so it's made this area really dangerous, and not for me or anybody, but I can go out to the end of my driveway and I can go meth and I'll have 3 or 4 people running at me at one time, or, and there's hookers and everything. And so this neighborhood that I live in is infested with it, and that's their life, man. You see it, like you see some of the hardest working people out there. They're either selling, buying, or whatever. Yeah. And you just like that, and that wasn't my story. I was a functioning addict, like for the most part. If things were going good in my life, I would even, I would glow like a normal person. But as soon as something went shit, I would show it. And then it would come out in you, and so it's such an evil drug and it's different. It's, today's meth isn't like your grandpa's meth. It isn't. Your eyes don't dilate. If you're conscious enough, you can tell yourself, hey, I'm high, so I better check myself and, mellow out. And you can actually gear it down. It's really almost suspiciously too convenient, right? Like it used to be that it would black your eyes out. You'd look like a vampire, right? Not anymore. I could be high on it right now and acting just the way I am. You wouldn't know the wiser. Mm-hmm. But that's because it's not in my marrow. Once it soaks into you and you're doing it on a daily regimen for years on end, it's hard to hide it. Your skin starts turning gray and it's pretty gnarly. But like if you're like as clean as I am or you guys are now, you can nurse that stuff. Nobody would ever know you're on it. And that's the dangerous part of it, is that you can use it for your focus or whatever you want. And next thing you find out, that's not happening. And now I'm gray. Yeah. Now I'm gray. Not gay, gray. Gray. Yeah. And I was gray. I was gray and green. And people were like, dude, your color, what's up? And so the first thing I'm hearing now is like, dude, you're glowing and you got color and you seem happy and you're on top of things and you're not, dominating the conversation like I'm doing right now.
Hey, that's what this is about. Hangout. Go ahead and speak your mind.
Well, I'm
out, dude.
I know. I think I covered the whole drug thing.
Show.
You did. I love your passion with it because it's true. It's raw and it's the truth and it's infectious to our society. And it is. I know that drug abuse has been around forever, but
it's infectious to our industry. Like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's such a fast-paced world we're in now, too. So here's the deal. The world is cruising, man, and everything's being thrown at us. And there are people who cannot keep up. And so what do? They find this little regiment they can do. Maybe it starts out with coffee, and maybe now they're getting some sort of, whatever. It evolves to the point of this. Once they get introduced to a little bit of this stuff, that all of a sudden they love the job they hated, and they're all into it. And that stuff is a suck in, man. It is, and it'll suck you up before you know it. I mean, if it's this, say, here's how I started. I have 3 kids here. I'm responsible for them. I got to go to work. I got to keep the roof over the head. I had to equate. I'm so sick of this fucking job. And so I had to go, okay, I'm going to just do a few of these pills and just kind of numb it and just carry on, because all my kids were teenagers. So they were all evolving out of the house, And you want to see my only kid I have now in the house?
Sure.
He's my 10-year-old, and this is my only kid I have in the
I
house.
was going to say, but it's a fur baby. Hi. Oh,
This cat will face off any pit bull. He is not afraid of nothing. Right now, he's trying to figure out, well, what are you going to do with me?
Our kitten is not scared of the pit bull, but the pit bull is still just a puppy, and she wants kitten. And kitten, well, I call him kitten, but he's like 5, 6, and he's just not having it. So there was like a battle going on by the sliding glass door, and I'm just like, I have a show going on, guys. Can we not do that?
Yeah, fur baby.
Sky decided that it's a good
idea. If we bring a dog in, I told you about that pit bull. He had that pit bull on the run constantly, and that pit bull was 2 years old, but he'll stalk him. I mean, he doesn't care. He'll see that, see his face. He don't care.
Hey,
he does not care.
Quite a little guy. Oh, he's cute. Beautiful cat. Looks
Thanks.
10.
Well,
he's well taken care of. His food's more expensive than mine.
Well, let's hit your neck of the woods real quick.
Oh, yes, let's do it. I'll be right back. Hit it
Okay,
up.
perfect. I'm going to take a little bit of a hiatus here and let my cat out.
Yeah, no worries. I got this.
Right.
You got
All right, folks. So this is what's going on in your neck of the woods. So New Year's Eve, Star and Garter, Manchester, The Drones, Vomit, Bastard Face, and Boogie Formby with Paul Carter will be playing. There's a buffet and disco. Tickets are £5. Obviously, that's in England. Saturday, the 4th of April, 2020, the Red Rum Stafford in Stafford, England. Vomit, NBUK, and I can't really read this one. The Black Widows, again, £5. In Manchester on Saturday, the 4th of July, we have Knockoff, No Thrills, Special Brew, Head Sticks, Vomit, Litterbug, Zombie Fish, and Fat Albert playing at the Half Dare for $10. Rock at Westgate presents End of the Year Punk Bash, which is Friday the 13th December. We have the King Crows, Vomit, Eye Liquor, and it's free entry. And that is at the Westgate in Hangout, England, I'm guessing. And we have Fallen Kings, End Status, Twisting Fate, and Communal playing December 6th at Tony V's Garage. You definitely want to check those guys out. Amigos Novos, December 7th, 7 to 9. Ott and Hunter in Langley, Washington, which is in Whidbey Island. Classic rock duo, I-287. These are the December dates. They are December 5th at the Canal House, December 12th at the Canal House, December 14th, the Cloverleaf Inn, December 19th, Washington House, December 21st, the Glen Rock Inn, and December 26th at the Canal House. Friday, December 13th at the Mirkwood, you can see the Lonely Hearts Club, Virginia Saint Revival, and End of May. Again, okay, here's another Blacker Friday too at Tony V's Garage, Fallen Kings and End Status are playing with Twisting Fate. We already did this one. Sorry for the repeats. Nightmare Before Christmas Mash Bash. The Walkers and Broskies are playing at it does not say. At the Signal in Gainesville, Florida. At the Madison Street Pub, we have the Jones Family Christmas, and it's a Toys for Tots drive. So you definitely want to do this, and this is this Saturday at the Madison Street Pub. We have Headbangers Holiday with Pullets, Glenn Cannon and the Damage Done. Friday, December 10th or 12th at Club Sir. Definitely go check him out. He's a good friend, and he supports big time. We have Cobra Dret, Jacob Minot, and the Eagles in Sandpoint, Idaho, December 14th, which is a Saturday. We have 'Twas the Rock Before Christmas at the Big Dipper. It's all ages, December 21st. Influx, Amend the Divide, Wandering Eye, and Jacob Vano are playing. Anomi, TSBR, and Bow's Tantrums at the Space Concert Club. This is going to be Anomi's last show of 2019, and it's going to be lit, and it's Friday, December 6th. I have no idea where. They never said. We have New Year's Eve celebration at the Starlight Lounge in Glendale, Arizona. We have Serious Play, Desert Vikings, and Mick Yard playing. We have Happy Merry Days Rock Fest, hosted by Jim Stark. And it's Rocket Stedman, Just Tommy, Black Mountain Project, and Muck Muck. And Muck Muck, and that's at Club Red in Mesa, Arizona. We have a line, sorry. Toy Drive for Phoenix Children's Hospital at the Timeout Lounge. Make this Christmas rock for the kids at PCH. The Beast of Bailey Downs, Luminous, Video Odyssey, Michael Clayton, and Bob Noxious are playing. New Year's Eve Rock Party, and there's going to be a live DJ, the Roaring Twenties. There's cash prizes, a contest party, and that is in Phoenix, Arizona at the Gypsies Roadhouse. And we have the fifth annual Wing Fest. Second String, Massacre of the Opera, King Machine, Stoic FB, Screams of Sirens, Face of Loki, Havas, and Salem Knights are all playing, and that's Tony V's. So you definitely want to do that one. And then we have December 14th at Luigi's. We have In Status, Master of the Opera, Drug of Choice, Suicide Ghost, Rising Enemy, Heroes for Ghosts, Deadbeat Blackout, White Trash Romeo, Chapter Black, Prelude to Epistle, and Await the Avalanche. And that's $15 at the door. We have a New Year's Eve party, and it's the Epic Catalina wine mixer.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yes, and this is I have no idea. The Third Wheel Event Center in Lewiston, Idaho. Sorry, it's really hard to see some of the stuff. Digging for Change, 15 Stitches, Sidecars playing December 14th at O'Malley's.
A good show at O'Malley's. Oh my gosh. 15 Stitches with Digging for Change. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes. December 14th, the Glorious Trainwreck playing at the Lodgers and Loggers and Sultan.
Loggers, man, they got that killer out there.
Ghost Town Riders are playing December 6th at Excalibur, December 7th, 8th, and 9th at the Eastside Cannery, January 2nd at Sam's Town, February 6th in Sam's Town, and February 28th and 29th at Eastside Cannery. I have no idea what state. Punk Rock Christmas. Oh, yeah, this is my show. And it is with Spiderface, Dirty White Plants, Klondike Kate, Theater Butterfly, No Beffer, and the Adverse Effect.
Oh my God, that's going to be fun.
I
I'm
know.
really looking forward to that one. So this I'm excited about. So Rebecca Terry and Jason Bennett, they are from Baby and the Nobodies, are playing this year's Porn Jam December 6th and 7th.
Yeah, that's a few days.
And that's at the Central Saloon.
Oh, wow.
And also, last but not least, Baby and the Nobodies will be rocking the Jazz Bones for Jason Bennett's amazing wife, Janny Bennett, her birthday.
Ooh.
585, December 21st at 8 p.m. So I know that's a lot, but that's what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Thank you, Crash. That was wonderful. Lots of
It
really
was
cool
long. It seems like we haven't done it in a while. So
Well, I skipped it last week. I was like, oh, Crash isn't here. I'm not doing any segments.
I think everybody just saved it up for when I was.
Well, and this month is really busy for musicians. It really is. Just like October, the holidays are.
We have New Year's coming
A lot of
up,
people just take the whole
just
time
coming
off.
out of Thanksgiving. So
Yep.
we still have a few good.
Yeah, actually, we're struggling because booking agents keep getting a hold of us for different things, and we've had to turn some things down. We wanted to take our break until March to focus on our album, but it is so tempting to take up some of these shows because, you know, it feels good to be asked to play shows. And we
It does.
want to play music for anybody who wants to hear it.
I just want to play music, period.
And that's the live music season for us up here in the Northwest because it's raining, you know, and so it's crappy outside. So you're not going to catch people camping and stuff like you do on the weekends.
Right.
People just do stuff in the summer. So when it's raining is your best chance to have a decent turnout at a show because people are bored, you know, and they can
Exactly,
go
yeah.
outside and enjoy an evening at the river or whatever. And so you have a better chance. You're better to take off the summer months to do your album and then get ready, you know, because the fall.
But it's so cold in the winter.
It is. So,
You're just sitting out in the cold, and I just don't like that.
so it's hard to do the travel through the mountain passes where I'm from. So I'm near Seattle, but I'm not in Seattle.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like I traveled to Tacoma, Olympia, Seattle, Arlington area to play.
You pretty
And-
much have to travel everywhere anytime you play outside your particular town.
And that's why I'm only in the
Because you guys are like so far out there.
Right. So it's safer for us to do shows in the summer. And that's why we were like, hey, we'll take a break, finish the album, come back in the spring. But like when people want you, it feels good. So fans will probably see you out there before March.
I hope so.
Just saying. Chomping at the bit here. I want to get out there again. I miss you guys.
Oh, you guys taking a little break.
So Kit, I was going to ask you earlier, how many bands have you been in?
Oh, a bunch. You know, I was a bass player, and back in the 80s, nobody played bass. So I could just lily frog to the next best thing, right?
Ooh.
I'm known as a bass player in this
That's
town,
fun.
and I've been for years. So I've been a household name on bass. And so I've been able to lily pad to a lot of bands. Too many to say, but I did the first ever Aerosmith tribute here a few years ago. That was
Oh my gosh. Oh yes.
And so I've got to play with the best musicians we have, you know, on the plate here. Like Jack Foolery was all high name musicians around town. So I get to play with those guys. So I've been fortunate. And just a bunch of, I mean, they're all no names because nothing ever really did anything. But a ton. I've always kept myself busy with music. Even in the worst of my scenarios, I never let the music go.
There's no E on the show.
Because you can't. It's part
Hard
of
to-
you. It's part of you. It's in you. Like you can't ever.
Oh, I know. That's it, too. And it took me a long time to realize that.
Yeah,
I mean, I was just a bass player, and I was in it to meet girls, and to
that's what you said.
be part of the party, And so I tell people I played bass for 40 years. I'm coming up on 40 years, but I've been a musician for the last, 5, because I wouldn't write. I just was okay with just laying down bass lines. During Jack Foolery and like other bands, other original bands, I said, I got more to give here. I'm more than just a bass player. So I played 35 years, before I actually decided, okay, there's more in me here. I'm a singer. I'm a guitarist. I'm a writer. I'm a creator. I'm not just a bass player.
Yes, I am.
I am music.
Oh, yeah,
What do you? Yeah, you are music.
Hoodie.
I am, and it's so deep in me that like these backing tracks, they showed me that I do karaoke, right? Like I'll just run YouTube. I'll go on and I'll hit bass backing tracks. Then you get out of there and you go over to your live page and you just start playing, and whatever comes up, you play to it. And in doing so, I grew as a musician through those too, because I would never do open jams. It's like, no way, And so now, I mean, I dominate open jams. I'll play
I love
anything
open jams.
anywhere. I claim you can dump me on any stage in the world, sight unseen, and I'm going to prevail on bass.
I feel like it's easier to do an open jam as a drummer than it would be to be a bass player or a guitar player.
Don't tell a drummer that.
And guitar players and bass players, well, what key are you in?
You gotta
Number one, what notes are you playing?
Hopefully they're
You know,
standard. If
like-
the guy that goes, hey, I wrote a song, you want to play it? And you're like, no.
Just hit stuff in like a consistent pattern.
Yeah, I mean, if it's predictable and they can go A minor or F sharp C
Everything
or
is
whatever,
predictable.
then you go.
If it's
Don't
on
ever
the
tell a drummer that their job is easier than open jam. They'll argue it with you. I mean, I've had back
like,
I
gotta
even
be
know the time signature and the notes. And then if you got some creative guy here that wants to jam his new song, and you got to guess his chord patterns, and hopefully
Exactly, that's what I mean. But
different.
it's a little harder to guess somebody else's like.
Yeah,
so
you can lay down a beat, is what you're saying, Tony.
I
You
totally
lay a beat down and you play whatever note you want. It don't matter, right? No, I get you, man. Don't tell drummers that, though. These ladies are very humble drummers. Most will tell you, oh, bull crap, and blah, blah, blah. No, and they don't understand that, no, we have to do the time signature and the note and the coordination of the patterns.
Yeah, no. As a drummer, I just sit down and I'm just like, I'll follow you guys. You play something, like I'll make it up as I go. And
Yeah. I
Big
love telling a drummer, kick something off. I'll tear right into it. And I do, I love to be inspired by a drum beat, a nice solid, and then I'll kick off on whatever you want. But with me I actually had a drummer in here for a long time, but it was confusing things, so we had to kind of remove him. But
oh,
it just wasn't. I mean, my backing tracks are simple. I could dial them in. I didn't have two personalities in here going. And I hope that sounded as good as I try to make it sound when I just did those backing tracks. Because
definitely, and in fact, you could do that again. I love that.
okay,
I would have to agree on that.
Show us some more, please, Kit.
all right, we'll do that.
Thank you.
I love to show off. I mean, I always tell people,
Yeah,
I mean, the epitome of a musician is watch me wank. Watch me wank. Look how cool I am.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, and so I don't mind doing that as long as you can be humble with the fact that we're just all a bunch of show offs. All right, let me find something here to peck at.
every time I come up, Maxine, you always bend down.
You guys were like sequenced, man. You guys were like, it was funny. You both came up from my angle. You both came up like like you were like the '80s butt rock. How they would coordinate on stage and stuff.
We're coordinated like that.
You guys were like in the '80s right there. Like, All right, what else?
I thought I was gonna come up and see Mrs. Bats and your Miss
This
Bats.
one's a cool one. I do this one because this one cooks. Now, I'm not one to sit around and play things the way you would predictably see this, right? Like, I don't. I play these like I'm a metalhead that's forced to play something that I probably normally wouldn't. And so that's a lot what these are. And so this one, I love this one. And it goes a little like this. Let me see. Getting your groove on?
Yes.
Yeah. I even got the dog over there. She like had to bring me her toy.
Oh,
And she's like, I want to play too.
Oh, yeah.
that was
You guys
cute.
want to meet my girl?
Yes,
You want to see Mrs. Kit Bohannon?
bring her.
Yes.
Yes, fur babies.
This is my beautiful.
Oh, this is the woman.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Gorgeous.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Here. Well, I got to
No,
Yeah, here we
I
go.
thought you were gonna introduce another pet. Like, I didn't realize this was so awesome. Like, oh my gosh, your girl, that's freaking amazing. You're beautiful.
This is the woman who endured my years without realizing she was enduring my years.
She's a tough chick. You go, girl.
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl, huh? Look at that.
Definitely.
She's my Mary Ann.
Aw. Hi. Nice
Hi.
to meet you. Pretty
Hi.
lady.
Oh
Thanks for joining
She's a
in.
rocker too. Remember I told you she loves her rat.
God, I love her a lot more than Rat.
Yeah. So
Anyway, nice to meet you. I'll let him get back to it.
Nice meeting you too. Awesome. Love it. Very
she
cool.
loves music too, and so we won't do it now. She would love to, but I play acoustic and she sings, and we
Come
sing.
on.
We do a thing called Married by Music, and and it's just kind of not like you and your husband do, Maxine, but we do it for our friends and stuff, and we'll do like
I need to go back so you guys can do this.
Come on. You can't tell us that. You can't tease
Oh
us.
yeah, I
We'll
can.
not do it.
That'll assure next one, and then we can.
Oh, snap.
I promise. Next time we'll do that. And then because she loves to, she's like,
You guys bust? Go out on the
she's
street? Like, do
she
you go
loves to
out?
entertain too. What's that?
Do you guys busk too? Do you go out on the street and perform?
No, we don't. We don't do. No, as a matter of fact, I've told her we should be professional about it and get down, a rehearsal and do a few songs. But she would rather do them off the cuff than even rehearse them. So we do like Four Non Blondes,
Oh,
and-
yes.
and then we do like Every Rose Has a Thorn, and we do like the Kid Rock Sheryl Crow thing, and
yes.
we do the ballady things, and we can do them all, and we do our own versions of them. They're not like, we make them ours, right?
That's so cool. You go. Like, I love that.
She's back behind me here saying, I'll do it. I'll sing.
No.
Do it.
Yes. Yes.
Get over
Yeah,
here.
we'll do it next time. Next time we'll come out, me and her both, and we'll do it. Oh, you bought me an ice
You're
cream.
killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
She brings me like sweeties and stuff.
Aw.
This is my new
Oh.
drug, by the way.
Sweet
I-
treats.
You know, ice cream.
Those are
and-
dangerous.
Yeah, they are. So 58 days ago, I weighed 135, and now I'm back up to like 205, and I'm trying to check it. You know, I got it. I got to really watch. See what I had for dinner today. I was eating on camera while you were doing your thing, Tony. This is dinner.
Oh, yes. Little oranges. Like, man.
Mhm. They're so good.
Yeah, they are. They're freaking awesome. I have them for lunch every day. Every day. Banana, that, and like a main course, like a pasta or stir fry. Oh, yeah.
Yum.
Killer. Keeps
I
you
eat anything. I used to be real picky, but now when we go to a restaurant, I'm going to go out and smoke a cigarette or whatever, and she'll go, well, what do you want to eat? And I go, whatever you order me. Like, I'm that open because I starved myself for 4 years. I didn't do
wow.
I literally wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink. I mean, I was really unhealthy with myself. So
Mhm.
now I'm on my greens. You know, I got superfoods that I do supposedly every day. I get to feeling so good, I'll forget to do them. But in the beginning, I was feeling so bad. My body was displaced. It was wanting to have what I was giving it for years. I'll say this, you know, one is you can't quit dope without quitting alcohol. You have to do that. So I'm gonna give some words of wisdom, you know, before we end here. I do want to send a message here to anybody who needs it. One is I run every night. I do a check-in, you know, with the day, and every morning it's usually 6 in the morning, and then I'll do something around 6:30 at night, where I explain to you what you can expect at day 58 or day 59 or day 20. You can go back and they're all available. All those videos, just look for the number. It'll say day 21. And I come out and I go, okay, today has got this, you know, and this is the way I feel about it. And so, I basically really gave a personal log day to day. And I started the log at about day 6 when I quit alcohol. I just said, okay, I'm going to quit alcohol today. I got 6 days off of meth. And then I came public with it around 6 or 8 days. So on the 8th day, yeah, like I think you can pick the videos up in between 8 and 11. In other words, day 8 and 11. And then it was every day after that, because it took me a while to get the courage to say, hey, man, I think I can make something good out of this, right? Like I can make people understand that the world isn't going to detach from you when you're coming off of it. Now, if you said, hey, I do meth and I'm going to do it tomorrow, they might detach. But if you tell them, I've been doing meth for 4 years, I'm badly in a bad way, and I want to come off it, and I need the accountability of the people who consider themselves my fan base or my friends and family. And so no alcohol, you got to quit it to quit that shit. And don't think, you know, because that's where I kept tripping up, man, was I would not get rid of the alcohol, but the alcohol's got to go just until you can get a handle on that other stuff. And what was the other one was
Makes sense.
you're going to eat like a horse, because your body wants that. And so my body was starving for things, because it took the meth and it put it in the calcium and it put it in the vitamin D and it put them everywhere, right? Like it was just throwing meth in as a replacement to. So when you quit meth, you get this deep yearning. It's like, God, I need that drug. It's really your body just going, hey, how about some vitamins here, man? How about some, how about some good stuff? And so when you do come off the meth, you have to replace it with some expensive vitamins. It's important. It really is.
Take supplements? Are you taking like capsules?
I get this stuff and it's greens, and it's basically superfood. And it's not that expensive superfood that makes people look like they're high, because that's out there too. Literally, I seen these guys coming out and they were pushing this superfood and they were metabolizing on their video. And I went, wait a minute, man. You're triggering my high button here.
Right.
And so there is a superfood out there where they're using some sort of ephedra in it to prevent you from eating too much. And these guys are dropping weight, and it is. So don't mistake what I'm doing for that. I'm not. Okay. I'm doing stuff. Let me go grab what I'm doing, because whatever I'm doing.
Please do. Let's show everybody. We want to show our viewers, if anybody needs help with this or knows somebody that needs help, please listen to this advice. Like, we want to help everybody that's on that road to recovery. We care about you. Not a lie. Like, totally care about you.
We definitely can. Am I
So
coming through okay? Because everything is
So
cutting out.
this is the greens I do. Now this is what
You're
this
coming in
does
good.
too. This will give you energy too. And it's about $40. It's a powder. I do a scoop of it, and I don't like 23. My girlfriend says. You can tell who's in charge of the money here.
Heck
What's it
yeah, you
called?
go, girl.
She's taking care of me. She has nursed her man back
What's
to
it
health.
called?
And now she looks at me and she goes, "That's the guy I was interested in, not the guy that
Shit.
feels picked up after 4 years of
Wait.
meth."
Oh my gosh, I applaud her because that takes a lot of strength. She's a very strong woman to stand by you through all of this because
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
And listen,
like,
she endured, she waited. So she didn't know about the first 3 years. I was able to keep it from her.
God dang.
And then I came out with it and she goes, "Well, that's got to end, you know?"
Yeah, right?
And
You go, girl.
so I just kept saying, "Yeah, I'm going to get off it. Yeah, I'm going to get off it." But I couldn't. I didn't get the golden ticket. You really have to come off on your own. There's nothing that's going. You got to wait till the golden ticket comes, and that looks by way of your heart, man. You melt, man. I was on the floor of this studio, bawling my eyes out, and I just said, "It's done. It's done." And she was gone. She didn't want nothing to do with me. She wouldn't accept my calls. She'd left me for a week and a half, you know.
Wow.
And then you got to deal with the psychosis, the coming off, and you can't get well enough to save your life, like, so you're at that point where everything's going away and you're like, fuck, I got it. Sorry. Yeah. What was that? 3, 4, 5 F-bombs. I'm Tony. I promise.
Dude,
Next time you have me on,
You're fine. Get your
next time you guys have me on,
It's okay.
remember,
We have a viewer
said
that
Fred Flintstone. That's what I say when I'm around my grandkid, and they're like, "Gosh, man, stop it!" And I'm like, "Okay." I said Fred Flintstone. You got to fill the kids' heads with something that's has F in it. And I use Fred Flintstone.
we have a viewer who says, "Thank you for sharing, Kit," and he says, "Hold on, oh my goodness, I would."
True life is a beautiful thing. I got it, Tony.
It says, if more of us were real about it, less would be in a bad shape. Yeah, recovery and having true life is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
And I preach that stuff on my Facebook Live all the time. So
Yeah,
you can
watch
follow me. You
guys.
can Google my name and a numerous amount of things that I do, because there's too much to really tell the stuff I do, but I do it out of my heart, not out of a need for profit.
What is the name of the greens that you're taking? I didn't get to.
You got two options. Now we get these at Walmart, and my girlfriend explains that so these are super greens.
Okay.
These are nitrous too. Like when I first started doing I was getting accelerated. Like I felt like something it was almost like my knees were knocking. So it was almost a little too much. And then, so my girlfriend, the vitamin guru, she goes, "You need your protein with it." So I choose, because it tastes like pond water. I'm not going to lie to you. It tastes like pond water, and it looks like pond water. Make sure you stir it up.
Like a blue-green algae called spirulina. It's in it.
Yeah, no, I put spindulina in it. I've got some spindulina, but I'll take a pinch just to sweeten it a little bit, take less pondy. But they got one that's lemony, and this is not lemony. And I like the non-lemony type. But I tell you what, man, you do this in the morning, and then and protein. It's really important, because this is going to jack you up, and you need the protein in there too to kind of counterbalance it and to slow it down.
I'm a drummer.
Because it'll make your knees knock. You start rattling and stuff. You're like, oh God. It's almost like you drank too much coffee, but it's really just your body going, oh my God, what is this? It's good stuff. It's not meth anymore. And so what I felt was this yearning, this, oh God, what do I need? And it's almost like a curl up into a ball. It was my body going, okay, you're not going to give us meth. What are you going to give us? Because food ain't cutting it. Food takes a long time to break itself down to get the vital, what you need out of it. This is bullet to bone, I call it. It just goes right straight to the point, and you feel it immediately soaking into your system. And like I said, 45 minutes later, your knees are knocking because you're revving.
You're ready to go.
You're ready to go. And nothing really, meth didn't really do that for me. Meth would do this. Meth would my brain. It would engage my brain. Meth would go, all right, let's rock, let's jam, grab the bass, grab the backing tracks, let's go rock. That's what meth did to me. This stuff goes, let's build that guitar, let's go ahead and get it done. Now let's bring it out here. It's just a more productive energy.
Uh-huh.
Important to know. But I mean, back to the guy that was said about being real. I mean, it really is crucial to be real. And I feel like, I'm going to recover well out of being very humble to the fact that I was a meth head for 4 years and it wasn't the first rodeo. Go ahead. Am I? And
I was just going to say it's good information. I'm glad that you shared that because it's
Yeah.
a product and I like to get products out there to our viewers that can help them. In fact, even if you're not in recovery, that stuff would be good for you to have energy this time of year. Like we need our vitamin D this time of year in the Northwest, as well as most of the nation. And like superfood is it. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, and be careful. Like I said, there's another superfood that is like $250 for this container. There's something really wrong with that superfood. Then people seem a bit too excited about it. And so, which tells me that there's something in there that's similar to the accelerant that I'm getting off of.
Yeah, perhaps.
Listen, you guys were dropping too much weight too quick. Their faces were getting all sucked in. And I was like, wait, that's not healthy. It doesn't look like it looks like you're losing weight in an unhealthy fashion. Like they would do in Hollywood. They get you to drop down to fit a character.
Right.
That's the kind of superfood you got to be careful of because that isn't it's not FDA approved or anything. It's just this. And I suspect that it's got some less than genuine chemicals. But legal.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that too. That's important. We want to hear from people, real stuff. Thank you. That's raw. I love it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I will come out anytime you want me to. I always got a lot to say.
What's your name tonight's musicians hangout, musicians in the raw.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Hey, I don't lie to kick it.
Exactly.
You ain't got a lie to kick it around here.
Well, and it sounds like we have to have you back on with your lovely lady. We want to hear her sing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing you anything on that level.
Well, we will.
I'm going to take the fence on that one. I'm going to walk the fence and say, I'll leave it to your interpretation. She's original. We found out that she doesn't necessarily sing out of key. She sings in like a seventh. So it's like, wait a minute. She's singing in key. She's just singing. She's singing the seventh. She's singing a chord note that's an odd one to sing, like the hardest one to sing if you're doing voice harmonies in a band. Like she's singing the hardest note without even realizing it. She's just hitting that octave
and layering that over the music.
Yeah.
I bet it's very.
We discovered that when you were singing. We're like, wait a minute. She's actually singing in key, but she's singing that odd note that's super hard to hit when you're doing harmonies. You guys know you're both musicians, right?
We both actually sing too.
Sing and drum, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're both lead singers?
Yeah.
I am not a lead singer,
but
I do the songs I do sing, I do the leads for.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll do our 5 songs next time.
In fact,
Yeah,
because Crash wanted to learn how to sing and drum, and I showed her some things and talked her into getting a headset, and
I
all
did.
muscle memory. It's forcing your brain to split. And
it's already split anyways, being a drummer, because your arms and your legs are doing 4 different tempos. Like each appendage is doing a different tempo.
it's definitely a medicine.
If you want to be good at your instrument, if you want to be a virtuoso, play it 3 hours a night live.
I will.
Set up a room like I've got here where you're really comfortable. You can roll some stage lighting and just
like my drums are literally right behind me.
Memory means that I'm doing something I've done so much I don't have to think about it. Now I can sing.
We're in our band.
Oh, nice. I like it. Look at you guys. Why don't you guys jam for me now?
We would break it. We would break the internet.
We're too loud. We will though. I go live every once in a while with my love, and we jam it out. There's his beautiful guitars. In fact,
that's awesome. Man.
I have to show you this. His best friend made this guitar. I designed it, and it has the license plate from my '81 Camaro from when I
love that '81 Camaro.
North Dakota. These are my old plates. These are the plates I had on.
I think that's how we engaged. Was your Camaro? I engaged you. I mean, I friend requested you because I saw that picture of you singing and playing.
That's awesome. That's how we became friends.
And then I engaged you because your 80s Camaro. And I said, that's a whatever 3rd generation Camaro. I said, and what's so ironic is like all the ones I had no headliner and a trip permit in the back window. I go, that is, that's definitely a 3rd generation Camaro there.
Oh yeah,
Trip permit because that 350 needs to be tuned up and it won't pass DEQ. And then the no headliner, they're famous for headliners coming out of them.
I'm now.
Worth
I'm going to
license
say
plate
that I'm
guitar.
not a
Did I
big Wk guitar fan, but I gotta say that one of Max's that his friend made him is probably one of my most favorite guitars of all time.
Oh my gosh, fans love that guitar. In fact, at the
Can
drummer.
you see it again? I think I missed it because I was babbling.
Oh, I'll go back. And it's opposite land, so give me a little bit. But anyway, at the drummer showcase, people started chanting for 007. So that's the name of this because it says 007. I was girl
That's killer. I love it. I love it. It looks like driftwood too. Is that driftwood I'm
It's
seeing?
barnwood, so it's from South Dakota. The barn,
I make those too. I love those.
the barn's from South Dakota, from his friend's farm. Can you guys see it all right?
Beautiful.
Yes.
I love it. I love the
Yeah,
picture.
that's my friend Dave Dix. He was on the show last week.
Yeah, Angry Dave.
Angry Dave.
He dabbled in making the guitars. So
I always say this: any monkey can make a guitar.
I want him
I'm
to
a mathematic. I mean, there's nothing. I thought I was, man. When I found out I could
awesome
make,
monkeys.
when I found out I could make this, this was, I think it was 48. I think it was 48 years old when I made this, and I was like, oh man, I'm Superman now. I can make my favorite item in the whole entire world. What? And that was it. I was gone.
Gorgeous.
I was out. I was done. If you can make your favorite item in the whole entire world, you're done. That's it.
I know.
But-
Now
yeah,
I guess I gotta learn how to make drum shells instead of.
But you can make a cajon. Anybody can make a cajon.
Oh, Crash. Guess what we're doing in the summer?
We're making damn cajones. That's what the hell we're doing.
Can you teach us? Like, teach us how. We would totally do that.
I'm never gonna
Oh,
go
yeah.
asking.
Listen to that kick drum.
Yes.
It only
Oh my
costs.
That's,
Well, this
and you know what? We're gonna bring artists with us.
Heck
You
yeah.
can-
We have artists.
I would love to go.
I'm friends
Max
with
can play the guitar, Kit can play bass, and the two of us will be out there in our cajones.
Yeah, dual drums. Nice. I love it.
Love it. Love
Where
it.
I saw that. I think
No,
I saw.
say how much
I saw Metallica one time, and they were playing basketball on stage because it was a big Blazer playoff. During that time, so the hoops were there. So they made them. Metallica actually had them put a basketball court on the stage, and they had 2 drum sets. And James Hetfield, he's a drummer too, and so they're doing these dueling drums, and they're
Then why isn't he?
shooting baskets and stuff. It was fun.
Lars playing
like
drums. Lars could play for the shit.
his passion's the guitar, girl. Like his passion is the guitar.
Stupid guitarist.
What?
Drummers speak. Oops.
Well, it looks like it's
Whatever.
9, so I guess we
Have
can
you
pull
ever
out of here, man. I
tried
sure had a
Lars
great time with you.
drumming?
What's
It's
the matter?
horrible. Yes,
What was that?
it's just about that time. We got to wrap it up.
We'll wrap
I
it
had
up.
a great time, ladies. I did. You can have me out here anytime. I'll be your Portland anchor. All right.
Yay, that would be great. We want to hear all about it.
And thank you
Yes,
so
and
much
check
for
in
being
with you.
on our show tonight, Kit. We totally enjoyed having you on tonight.
I enjoy being here. I enjoy this stuff, and I look forward to it. I looked forward to it so much. I thought yesterday was Wednesday, and so I'm telling my girlfriend, wait till like 7:30 to come over or whatever.
Oh,
And then I would set up, and then she goes, "Honey, it's Tuesday," and I go, "Oh."
oh. Well, I'm glad you were back today. We'll have you on again. We will.
Yeah, anytime. Like if you have,
definitely.
musicians aren't the most dependable people in the world. So if you end up with a show that doesn't have somebody to talk to, come grab me. All right.
We
I'll
run
always,
into
you
that.
can always counter off of me. All right.
Not often, but like we will run into that. So thank you.
You will. I guarantee it.
Yay.
I've tried that too. Nobody was when I asked people, I said, "Hey, you want to come? I'll interview you. You can come over here. I got a great studio. We can go Kemper, which is headphones, and I can wire you guys all up, and we can come out with Fidelity." Nobody. I could not get anybody. And so when
Well,
you
now
asked
you
me,
know that you can use
that guy
StreamYard
too
and
good
you
to go
can
on
stream anywhere. and you can use multiple platforms to do it. So
I love it. And then I'll look more into it because I could probably do.
Oh, and look at this, guys.
Like
This
I have
is-
a shop. You want to know that this is an interesting apartment.
Awesome.
This is a modern apartment. I build the guitars in my kitchen, which the girls here hate me for it, but I turn the kitchen into a full-on guitar manufacturer. Next time we key up, we'll key up there. All right. And so I'll show you my shop. It's pretty cool. It's interesting.
That's awesome.
You ladies take care. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
everybody in the audience.
And one last one before we say goodnight we have Tim Armstrong. He said that he's at practice right now, but can't wait to watch the replay. And we want to thank you all for supporting, Musicians Hangout. Because
Yeah.
we did this for you guys. Anyway,
Thank you.
happy Wednesday and have a great night, everyone.
I should get my bass and jam with you, Maxine. I'll get that song down that you got on that.
Next week.